Okay, continuing on in our series of sleep habits and how to improve your sleep by taking little tiny steps. Today the topic is the effect of carbs on your sleep. Now, I know you're thinking, Mike, you're going a little crazy here. Carbs, aren't they comfort food? Don't they help people sleep? Well, if you remember my previous video, talked about sugar and how sugar affects your system in all sorts of ways. Like I said, increases cortisol and all those different things. Well, carbs essentially are sugars all stuck together. They're whole long chains of sugar. So as soon as they hit your stomach starts breaking them down, and it's like a sugar bomb to the ninth. Especially refined sugar or refined carbs like white flour that go in things like muffins and donuts and things like that. Potatoes also are starch, and when they hit your stomach, they also create a big dopamine rush because of the amount of sugar in them, and just that's the way it goes. So carbs are sugar. So whatever I said about sugar, repeat for carbs. Now, there's additional problems with carbs, not just the sugar content in them, but the fact that some of the carbs aren't easily digestible. And instead, they're digested by the yeasts and the fungus that's in your system, because you always have yeast and fungus in your system. And the more food there's available for them, the more there are of them. So when you're trying to get to sleep, having things like yeast that makes gas and fungus that causes inflammation just gets in the way of sleep. So stop having carbs before bed. Again, you're not, like we said before, you're not just going to stop having carbs before bed, right? If you're in the habit now of eating chips in front of the TV or popcorn or whatever other carbs you consume in the evening, you're just not going to go cold turkey. You might last for a week. And after that, you're just going to slowly go back on, and in 6 months, you realize you're just doing the same thing again. So instead of that, let's make some habits. Let's create some habits that are not full of sugar and carbs. So again, we're going to do those 4 things. We're going to do an accounting, right? The accounting of when is the last time you have carbs at the end of the day. Is it at supper time? Is it a snack? Is it sitting in front of the TV while you're mindlessly chewing on something? Figure it out. Find out when's the last time you have carbs and what those carbs are. Then make a list of all the benefits. You heard this before, haven't you? All the benefits that you think you're getting out of the carbs. And there are some benefits, right? It is a comfort food. Maybe because that's what you had when you were a kid growing up, and your whole family got together and enjoyed, the occasional movie or something like that. And that was a good memory for you, and now every time you have it, you have that recurring feeling of comfort and relaxation, whatever it is. But those are benefits, right? So write down the benefit that you get for each one of the things you have in the evening that's full of carbs. Whatever the benefits are, doesn't matter. That's first step, or the second step. Third step is then to make a list of all the things that you can find and think of that would give you similar or the same benefit as the thing on the as the carb that you eat. Right, so if it's comfort, then maybe some meditation. If it's some together time with the family, maybe it's a game or some exercise or something like that. Whatever they are, just make a list. Once you got your list, then we get the opportunity to make that list active. So take one of those things on the list, and at the end of the day, but just before you're finished having your carb thingy, and say it's 8:30 in the evening and you've gone to the fridge one more time. So instead of 8:30, then stop at 8:25. And if there's some chips left in the bowl, leave them in the bowl. If there's still a muffin on the plate, leave it on the plate. Just assume you've eaten it, or throw it in the garbage, because that's really where it belongs. It's not good for you. It's just sugar. So throw it away and do that one activity you've decided on your list for 5 minutes. Whether it be, well, what did we talk about? We talked about meditation. You could do some meditation, or you could do some stretching, or you could do some simple little exercises, or you could go for a walk, or whatever it is. You do that for 5 minutes. Do that for a whole week. Next week, do it for 10 minutes, or find another activity that you can do for 5 minutes and then stack it with the other activity that takes 5 minutes, a total of 10 minutes. So it's not 8:30 anymore, it's 8:20, right? You keep backing that up until maybe the last time you have carbs is with your dinner, which probably is not bad. It's ideal, because you shouldn't be eating in the evening anyway. So that's way you can slowly get off of it, and you don't feel like you're doing something that is crazy, like, I'm never going to have carbs again. It's not going to happen, so just go one step at a time. All right. Now, I know this seems a little repetitive at the end of these talks, and you're right, they are, because we're not talking about doing any major, massive changes. We're just doing the same thing over and over again. We're taking an accounting, you're determining the benefits, and then you're replacing the old benefits, the old activity, with a new activity that gives you the same benefit. It's not that hard. And then you just inch it along. You make little tiny increments, 5 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds if you have to. But just keep on going, and eventually you're going to get those things out, and you're going to have much better habits in the future. All right, so we're going to get off food now. Next topic for sleep habits is we're going to talk about exercise and why it's so beneficial for getting some sleep.